And that brings us to the end of our programmes for tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back on the air at 9 tomorrow morning with Sesame Street, when your announcer will be Patrick Anthony. So a final look at the clock tells me it's just exactly 25 to 2, so it just remains for me to wish you a very good night from me and everybody here at Anglia Television. Good night. And just a final reminder to switch off your set and, of course, pull the plug out of the wall. Once again, a very good night to you. Sleep well.
Our thanks very much to the Reverend Donald Hilton. And that brings us to the end of our day. We'll be back with you from 9:30 in the morning. I hope you'll be able to look in. So on behalf of everyone here at Anglia, it's a very good night, and we'll leave you with a rundown of our programmes for the evening. I hope you sleep well. Good night. Time for us to wend our way home, so don't forget to switch them off, will you? Good night.
Well, here's the weather forecast. Tonight will be dry, but mostly rather cloudy, with temperatures falling to 3 degrees. There'll be a touch of ground frost in places. Tomorrow will start dry, though rather cloudy. Outbreaks of light rain will spread slowly from the west later on, and it'll be a little cooler than today, with the high temperature around 8 degrees centigrade. Winds will be southeasterly, light and occasionally moderate. The outlook for Thursday and Friday: some rain at times, but also brighter, dry spells, and there may be some frost at night. That's the weather. Let's remind you before we go that independent local radio continues after we've gone, with 3 stations in the ATV area: BRMB from Birmingham, Beacon Radio 303 from Wolverhampton, and from Nottingham, Radio Trent. Well, the time now is 16 minutes to 1, and we've come to the end of our programmes from ATV for today. We hope you enjoyed them, and that you'll join us again sometime tomorrow. But for now, from all the staff at ATV Centre in Birmingham, this is Kevin Morrison wishing you good night. Good night. Don't forget to switch everything off before you go to bed, will you? Good night.
That this may cause. Well, that's it for Wednesday's viewing here on BBC One Wales. There is no more. Brief reminder that tomorrow our programmes are slightly rearranged to accommodate, of course, the Cup final replay. Means that EastEnders will be on air here the slightly earlier time tomorrow of 10 to 7, and then that Cup final replay between Man United and Crystal Palace on air around about 7:20. Anyway, as I say, that's it for Wednesday. Do join us tomorrow. Busy and varied evening's viewing, as ever. But for now, from me and all my colleagues here, very good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Michael Caine is back on Friday night as the character who established him as one of Britain's leading screen lights. He's Alfie, the happy-go-lucky Cockney philanderer who wants to have his cake and eat it and ends up with indigestion. Alfie, Friday at 11:20.
Sunday night on One.
Mr. Allington, I am still ingenious. What does that mean?
He's still alive. You know the old graveyard at the back of the church? There's some buried treasure there.
You mean in a coffin? He wants to meet you.
I know.
This is getting dangerous.
Curiouser and Curiouser. The Green Man. Sunday, 9:05 on One.
Now, a final look at the curiosities in store weather-wise tomorrow. Much of England and Wales will have a bright start, though a few showers are likely, chiefly in the more western and northern regions. During the day, most of the showers will stay towards the west and north, though some will develop elsewhere, but everywhere should have some sunny intervals. In Scotland and Northern Ireland, the sunny intervals will be interspersed with showers, especially in the more western and northern areas, but southern and eastern Scotland should have only scattered showers. Most places will be a little colder but less windy than today, and there'll be a touch of frost in sheltered spots at first. And there we have it. That's the end of another evening on BBC One. There's still plenty of foot on the wireless, of course. Bob Harris is in session with the Wright brothers on Radio 1, and the Night Ride on Radio 2 is in the capable hands of Colin Berry. As we leave you now, I hope you're none the worse for the day's tricks and treats, and the remainder of this Halloween finds you untroubled by witches and warlocks. So as we clamber aboard our broomsticks and head for home, it just remains for me, Roseanne Macmillan, to thank you for your company and wish you well till we meet again. On behalf of the remaining stragglers here at Television Centre in London, I'll say good night from BBC One.
too close to the curtain. Behind the door. Look what you've done. Bye-bye, house.
Don't give fire a chance.
That was a public information film. Well, I'm sorry we didn't have the sound at the beginning of that little film there, but I'm sure the message got across nonetheless. Now the time is coming up to 19 minutes past 12, and we've come to the end of tonight's programmes on BBC One. We hope you've enjoyed what we've had on offer, and if you're still inclined to stay awake, or indeed if you've got to for some reason, then there's company to be found throughout the night on BBC Radio 2. Thank you for joining us, and on behalf of everybody here on BBC One, this is Malcolm Einan wishing you a very good night.
It's 15.5 minutes past midnight, and as we come to the end of tonight's programmes here on Central, we leave you with a look at the regional weather forecast. Any rain will die out from the west, and the remainder of the night will be mostly dry. Tomorrow will be rather cloudy with a few light showers. Temperatures will fall overnight to 8 centigrade and will reach 10 centigrade tomorrow. That's a little cooler than of late. And the light southeasterly wind will become westerly to southwesterly, moderate, occasionally fresh tomorrow. So the summary then for Sunday, rather cloudy, a few showers and a maximum temperature of 10 centigrade. And the outlook for Monday and Tuesday, scattered showers and sunny intervals and cooler than of late with night frost. And that's the forecast for the central region. Now, we're closing down, but independent local radio is still on the air. There are 3 stations within our region broadcasting 24 hours a day, and those are BRMB from Birmingham, Beacon Radio from Wolverhampton, and Radio Trent from Nottingham. And there are 2 stations now on the air for another 45 minutes, taking us up to 1 a.m., and those are Mercia Sound from Coventry and 7 Sound from Gloucester, independent local radio. Breakfast television begins at 7:25 in the morning with Good Morning Britain. There's a live big match tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, Manchester United playing West Ham, a new series of Bullseye at 5 o'clock, and we've got Clive James taking another look at television tomorrow night, that's at 10, and an interesting South Bank show at 10:30 with Melvyn Bragg talking to the Hollywood veteran Lillian Gish. Well, those are some of the programmes tomorrow. Further details in the TV Times. But just now, from all of us here at Central, this is Mike Prince wishing you a very peaceful night. Have a good Sunday indeed. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Take care.
Now, a last look at the central weather. Clear skies in some places will lead to patchy fog clearing late in the night and during the first part of tomorrow morning as cloud thickens from the north. Lowest temperatures will be between 1 and 4 Celsius, 34 to 39 Fahrenheit, with ground frost in places. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with occasional rain, much of it light, spreading from the north during the morning. A few sunny spells are possible later, but still some showers. The temperature will rise to 11 Celsius, 52 Fahrenheit, with a light to moderate northerly wind. And the outlook, sunny spells and a few showers on Friday. Cloudy with some rain at first on Saturday, followed by colder, brighter weather. That's the weather for the central area. Programmes on Central now come to an end, but independent radio continues to broadcast. 8 stations are on the air 24 hours a day. From Leicester, Leicester Sound. From Birmingham, BRMB. From Wolverhampton, Beacon Radio. From Nottingham, Radio Trent. From Stoke, Signal Radio. From Coventry, Mercia Sound. From Hereford and Worcester, Radio Wyvern. And 7 Sound from Gloucester. Music and news through the night with independent radio. Well, there's some light-hearted entertainment for Thursday evening on Central, because at 7:30, Michael Parkinson will be keeping the ladies and the men in order in Give Us a Clue. And later at 9, there's a new young lady in the life of Cockney Jim London, as comedian Jim Davidson stars in Up the Elephant and Round the Castle. Programmes for everyone to enjoy this Thursday evening on Central. Well, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's programmes too. So from me, Hilary Holden, on behalf of all of us here, I'd like to wish you a very good night. Good night.
8 radio stations continue to broadcast throughout the night. There's Leicester Sound, BRMB, Beacon Radio, Radio Trent, Signal Radio, Mercia Sound, Radio Wyvern, and Severn Sound. That's independent radio in the central region. And we've got 2 new series starting tomorrow night on Central at 6:30. Cilla Black presents Blind Date, in which she takes unsuspecting couples on exactly that, a blind date. That's comedy at 6:30, no doubt. And at 7:15, Copycats, a whole plethora of impressionists, including Bobby Davro, Gary Wilmot, and Johnny Moore, to mention but 3. And that new series starts at 7:15. Those 2 beginning tomorrow evening here on Central. And we're back on the air at 5 to 7 with Mike Morris and Good Morning Britain. And that's followed at 7:30 by Tommy Boyd and Arabella Warner in the Wide Awake Club. Programmes for tomorrow here on Central. We shall see you then. Until then, from me, Gary Terza, have a very good night. Good night.
And so we come to the end of our programmes from Border Television for this Sunday, and indeed for this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed them. Tomorrow evening, there are 2 new series beginning. There's Foxy Lady, starring Diane Keane, at 8 o'clock, and at 8:30, a new series of World in Action. At 9 o'clock, there's Harry's Game. And, of course, tomorrow at 10:30, we continue the Gangster Chronicles. Those are some of the programmes. Alan Cartner will be your announcer. With the time now approaching 13 minutes to midnight, may I now wish you all a very good night and sleep well. And now it's just after 13 minutes to midnight. Again, to you all a very good night, and you won't forget to switch your set off, will you? Good night.
And here we are back again with the trusty old Technicolor clock telling us that it's nearly 24 minutes past midnight, and that another weekend has bitten the dust. And it's high time that we turned out the lights here, because we're going to be up with the lark tomorrow morning. Well, 10 o'clock, when Channel 4 begins its live coverage of the Trades Union Congress in Blackpool. One of my favourite towns, Blackpool. Anyway, until then, from me, Ali Ballantyne, on behalf of everyone here at Channel 4, a very warm good night.
And that ends Friday night here on 4. Don't forget, tomorrow night from 11:25 we talk over another burning issue in After Dark, the discussion programme with no end, which just chats until there's no more to say. Which strikes me that now's a good time for me to take my leave of you at 12 minutes past 1 as we wander into the weekend. From me, John Briggs, and all here at Channel 4. Good night.
Well, the temperature at the moment at Channel is still 8 degrees centigrade, and the time just coming up to 17.5 minutes past midnight. Well, working here behind the scenes tonight have been David Evans and Paul Murray, and they join me now in wishing you a very good night. Good night. Well, as usual, as we come to the end of our night, a reminder to you to turn off your set and to pull the plug out from the wall socket as well. Sorry, teeth in the wrong order. Stay warm, stay safe, sleep well. Good night.
Well, now 25 minutes past midnight, we've come to the end of proceedings here at Grampian. We hope very much you've enjoyed our programmes tonight and look forward to your company again tomorrow. So don't forget to join us. For now, though, this is John Jason on behalf of all of us here at Grampian. Thank you very much for watching us. Sleep well. Good night. And remember to switch off your television set. Good night again.
As we're about to go, don't forget to listen in on our colleagues on independent local radio. Someone nicked the clock, so take my word for it. The time is just coming up to 21 minutes to 2. Good night once again.
At 7:25 with Good Morning Britain, and we'll be back at 9:25. Of course, if you feel that the night is still young, London's independent local radio stations, LBC and Capital, will be on the air throughout. But for the moment, from me, Peter Lewis, on behalf of our river folk here on the South Bank, have a refreshing night and a good Sunday. The time, in about 25 seconds, will be 9 minutes to 1. Just before we go, can I remind you to switch off your set? Good morning.
And we'd like to thank Father Tony Bennett for tonight's Faith for Life. Tomorrow night, the programme around the same time will be presented by the Reverend Stuart Barry. And now, talking about tomorrow, here's a look at the very mixed bag of weather we have for you tomorrow. It'll be very windy, with frequent brief squally showers and a few sunny intervals. Some of the showers will be heavy with hail or thunder. Gale force west to northwest winds are expected to reach storm force in places. And the maximum temperatures tomorrow we can expect are 8 centigrade, that's 46 Fahrenheit. And now the shipping forecast issued by the Meteorological Office at 23:30 hours. First of all, area Portland. West veering northwest 7 to severe gale 9. Showers good. Area Plymouth. West veering northwest gale 8 to storm 10. Perhaps storm 11 later. Squally showers moderate or good. Area Lundy. Northwesterly gale 8 or severe gale 9. Occasionally storm 10 in Fastnet. Showers good. And now a look at the westward clock. And with the time at 4 minutes to 1, that's it from Westward for Thursday night. And one of the programmes we must mention just before closing down tonight, we start a new series for Friday nights at 10:36 tomorrow night, just after our own news and weather. It's called The Westward Lecture, and tomorrow the lecture is given by the Home Secretary, Willie Whitelaw, and the subject is crime, punishment and the media. That's the Westward Lecture at 10:36 tomorrow night. But we've got lots more programmes for you tomorrow, and in fact just before we close down we'll take a look at them. But until then, on behalf of all the staff here at Westward Television and our staff at the transmitters, this is Ian Sterling wishing you all a very good night and giving you a last look at Friday's programmes. It really is time we were all in bed, so switch off the sets and have a nice sleep. Night-night. But that's it for tonight. Oh, we just take a last look at the clock first. And it's just 25 to 1. Well, as I say, that's it for Saturday night. Hope you enjoyed our programmes. Do join us again tomorrow night. But until then, on behalf of all our staff here at the TSW studios in Plymouth and the IBA staff at our transmitters, this is Ian Sterling wishing you all a very good night. just one more thing. Don't forget to switch off your sets. Once again, a very good night to you. Sleep well, and God bless.
And now the weather forecast for the south. There'll be light rain at times tonight, but it'll clear away early tomorrow morning, and the rest of the day will be dry with sunny periods. Lowest temperatures tonight will be about 11 degrees centigrade, and highest tomorrow around 18 degrees centigrade. Winds will be southwesterly tonight and westerly tomorrow, light overland, force 2 to 4 at sea. And that brings us to the end of our programmes until 9 o'clock in the morning, when we bring you all the road, travel and weather news and information you need to plan the weekend ahead in Saturday Brief. So until then, from all of us here at TVS, this is Judy Matheson wishing you a very good night. And now, of course, just that final reminder to turn off your television set, and as an extra safety precaution, to pull the plug from the wall. Good night again.